Hello and welcome to this little video where we show, well, my performance in round 3 of the classic Ducky Touring Car series from PTG. What happened to rounds 1 and 2, I hear you say? Well, yeah, a bit of a recap. You see, a long time ago, I made a series of videos for PTG's Ducky Touring Car series, and they were lots of fun. But they required replays to save, and, well, around 1 and 2, out of 4 races, only 1 replay would save for anybody. Seriously, Turn 10, fix your shit. So, in the absence of said replays, we basically get to use the stream and do some highlights off of that. So, we'll only be focusing on me. The tragedy. But we do need to still keep you up to date with what's going on in the championship, so hence this recap. Thus, round 1, Hockenheim. Beautiful circuit, started well for me, as I started on pole. The first race actually went equally well, as I managed to gently ease myself away and take the victory. Race 2 did not go so well, as I ended up last. So, yes, yeah. Anyway, race 2 was in fact won by PTG Stoozy B in his little Mercedes, after successfully avoiding all the carnage. So, great job that man, keeping it consistent. Round 2, Long Beach. I was feeling pretty confident. This is until TR the Flash turned up in his mad Volvo. Yes, as you can see, it's definitely a mad Volvo. So, anyway, he goes running off into the distance. Like a running off. I can't do that animation. Scrub that. Yeah, it was all looking good for me. Sitting in 3rd position, I'm thinking some good haul of points, and now we're doing full grid reversals. Race 2 will be interesting. Oh, race 1, though, had something in store for me. It's called a lag punch, and it punched me clean through 4th place, and so I actually ended up underneath 5th, which would be Rubber Dave. Now, this is all well and good, except that I launched Rubber Dave way into the air, and I smashed into the ground, and some damage is on. Luckily, we were luckily, we were the only ones actually to get any kind of side effects from this, and we both managed to limp back to the pit lane and salvage some points. But did not go well, and was quite spectacular. Race 2, though, meant that, because of the full grid reversals, me and Dave started towards the front. Well, actually, I started 3rd, because somebody else had a worse time than I did, just a little later on. So, off we go. And it was a great race all in all. Had some really nice battles on the streets of Long Beach, and no lag, which I think is definitely a bonus. But that mad Volvo still came through and won from last on the field. It was just so fast. You just couldn't hold it back on the main straight. So, anyway, that brings us to the points tallies to about, well, this. I'm not going to read it out. I'm far too lazy for that sort of thing these days. Anyway, you can read for yourself. So, anyway, there we go. Recap done. Shall we get on with this thing? Yeah. Well, we qualified 2nd, so here we are behind PTG Benny, starting the race. Now, I knew, because he was at least a couple of tenths faster than me in qualifying, that it was going to be important to put him under pressure early. Otherwise, he was just going to drive away from me. So, lap 1 was commenced in aggressive style. And that aggression, as it turned out, would pay off before the end of lap 1, getting an excellent run out of Stowe. Got a cracking run towards the chicane. Benny gave me some room. I wasn't going to pass up the opportunity. Squeaked it down the inside, left some room, but by then my little marker had said Benny had backed out of it. So I took the position. Now it's time to defend. As it turned out, though, I wouldn't have to defend for too long, because just a couple of laps later, this happened. Benny had lost it on the curb, Brains had nowhere to go, slammed on the brakes, and all of a sudden we had Nismo, Steve, and Flash, 2nd and 3rd, rather than the 2 Mercedes. Championship-wise, nothing else happened for the rest of the race except for this. Brains suddenly disconnecting, dropping him way down to the points. It's a shame, because he was running up nice and high after that incident. So yes, we take the win. Awesome. Race 2, on the other hand, was going to be interesting. Starting down in 15th, Brains the only person behind me, because he DNF'd. so it doesn't get any of the reversal, unfortunately. I get a fairly poor start, leaving a bit of an excessive gap. Luckily for me, it wasn't going to take long for things to get seriously interesting. Heading up to the end of the straight. We're 3-4 wide, people mixing it up. I'm sensing some opportunity. I think, right, keep to the inside. Maybe we can get Jugs, who's now being hung out there to dry. Suddenly the Volvo's having a screech on the brakes, and it's me left out to dry as Brains goes round the outside of me. They immediately go back to 2 or 3 wide up front. Little bit of rubbing, but nothing serious. Everybody keeps it on track. Next lap, I'm again having to try and go at Flash. I'm thinking, this is going to be a pattern. I can get a good run on him out of the corners. He just gets onto a straight and... I just don't have the legs. Luckily for me, though, this lap was going to be the last time I'd have to look at the back of that GT Omega, because I go attack offensive, he goes defensive but gets it slightly wrong and unfortunately hits Jugs. This gives me the opportunity to pass the Volvo, and luckily Jugs gets away with it relatively unscathed, getting immediately back into the battle up there. Mad Mitch, though, also decided to join me. A lap later, and it's game on with Jugs this time. Now, I've managed to sneak up the inside of him into the hairpin, which is nicely done. Neither of us make contact with the other. Give him some room on the inside, because I know he's there. I've kind of eased enough, and he's slipped round behind me, and all of a sudden, a bit of contact from the Volvo. Bit of a dive there from Flash. Even he admitted at the time to have gotten the brake bit wrong. But now we're 3 wide, with me, Jugs, and Mad Mitch, because there's the Volvo. The Volvo's not having any of it. That means we were 4 wide at one point. Ah, well, so it's all fun and games in touring cars. So I give some room. So I'm going for a wide entry here. Mad Mitch and the Jugs come through. I managed, though, to get a good exit, get up alongside Mitch again. And I'm thinking, okay, take it deep into the corner. Keep it on the outside, and we did. So now I have the corner ahead of Mitch. Can I sneak it back up the inside of Jugs? I can, by the looks of things. But I don't have any more power. Hell, we're in the same car. So we're a bit stuck here with the Volvo buzzing around behind us rather distractingly. And that may have been what caused the issue for Jugs, because he runs a little wide. I managed to sneak through, although I keep a tight line here anyway, just in case of anyone trying to attack. And there we go. 1 whole lap, at least, to abreast. Great racing. Great racing. And it continues on for a little bit longer, although we do get a little bit of a contact there. Once again, Flash struggling with the braking point there, and in fact losing both those spots at the time. Now, lap 9. Lap 9 will go down in legend. It will become historic for how many people can you overtake around the Silverstone International in 1 lap? Let's put the counter up. Right. It all starts about here. Now, part of me's here going, do I ease off, or do I cold trickle this thing and just aim for the smoke and floor it? We go with the latter, obviously. And it was also about this point that I found myself gazing lovingly into the eyes of PTG Benny. I also realised that unless I did pull it out fairly soon, I was going to cream right on his face, which is generally considered bad form on a first date. So, luckily for me, inches to spare, managed to avoid it. Also, luckily managed to avoid Pigeon, who's got caught up in those shenanigans. I'm thinking, 3 spots in 1 lap? That's not bad, but when they're going this crazy in the next turn, there's possibly more on offer. Let's see what we can get. So, tucking in behind Stoozy B, him and Viking Heathing have... Heathen! Man, my pronunciation right now sucks. They're having a nice close battle. 2 by 2 all the way through the chicane. Everybody. And I'm thinking, that's for the opportunity I needed. There's Heathen. There's Rubber Dave hung out to dry. And there's Stoozy giving me just enough room to squeak a full Sierra. I'll take 6 positions in 1 lap. Thank you kindly. It'll take me a little while longer to get brains, I think. In fact, it took 2 laps. Heading into lap 12. Breaking into the chicane. Brains outbroke himself just ever so slightly. We then end up going side by side, and remembering the incident from about 2 or 3 laps ago, we decide, discretion better part of valour, and we sort it all out. I'm then left for the rest of the race to defend against Brains, which, fortunately, I was able to do, without too much drama. So, a first and a second, nearly max points for the Sierra, and that did wonders for the championship. Let's have a quick look. So, as you can see, great day for me, not such a good day for Benny as I stormed to the lead by 21 points.